Eradicator and E-Barrier. Like I just got here. The only floodgates, like it's 2 game-winning floodgates. Eradicating against the runic deck, it's actually a lot better than you think it is, because Hugin can protect your field spell, and all of your runic spells can chain to the Welcome Labyrinth. Yikes! Brick in semi-finals on Branded, yikes. All your runic spells can chain block the Silver Castle from setting the Eradicator from deck. So it's not as bad as you think it is. Anthony Lopez starting with Airlifter, getting Emergency or HQ depending on what he needs.
Yeah, Victor not on
the set cards from Victor probably just being random as super polys and like maybe a cross out.
Searching out emergency, you could even wonder what would that even be there for victory. It's not like there are any cards you could really
so all that Anthony needs to do right now, because he probably knows that Victor's not bad, let's play around super poly.
Only thing I could imagine would be impermanences, but would you even set those? So maybe it's a mixture of impermanence and super polymerization. That would make sense maybe?
Yeah, exactly. The problem is that most of the decks, if they set 2 cards, they can kind of play around with something. For tier elements, you could argue for maybe a set Salik and then a tier cash from hand, or a Havnis. But the branded deck really maybe only just has the super polymerization here.
Yeah, I could see that card for sure. So emergency coming down and Anthony making
Summoning
sure that
Hydrant, shooting the Hydrant being able to add Turbulence here. He's going to have to link off this Hydrant before he commits to his Turbulence if he doesn't want to lose to super poly.
Is now activated and it is going to fetch the Turbulence. So what we could see to play around the super polymerization would be linking off the Hydrant and then summoning the Turbulence, just so that there are no possible fusion targets in the extra deck for Victor.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. Only downside, of course, then though, that the Hydrant is not on the field, so the cards you're setting isn't.
Yeah, Ballstar being summoned, pitching the Nibiru. Yeah, Ballstar picked, adding Snake Eyes.
And Anthony just goes on.
Super Splodes and Snake Eyes.
Victor just nodding. It is still some kind of majestic behavior, but of course it's also kind of resigning, right? He's not really having fun there.
Yeah, you might actually argue for going into a Link Reaver right here and then going into the SP Little Knight just to get rid of one of those set spell and trap cards right there.
Look at that.
Opens up for Turbulence here, and then you can summon Turbulence, set 4, and then Simple Splodes with Snake Eyes, send your Dear Ballstar, summon your Recordetta, and then Recordetta being able to make Baron.
Good point, good catch there. Maybe Anthony just announced the battle phase here.
Also, this is a possible super polymerization right here.
Yep, it is indeed. You could just super poly there, but Victor is giving the action back to Anthony, showing him you are able to proceed, ready to proceed. SP on 1 back row, and is it going to be super polymerization is the question here.
What is going to happen?
It is a super poly.
Super polymerization is gone for the turn, but maybe it's another one. We don't know. He could have just set 2 of them.
Throwback to Lyon, the card that almost kept Anthony Lopez in the game, making him win Lyon, which didn't happen, was super polymerization. I remember completely freaking out about it, and now he just banishes the card, not even caring about it, goes for the Turbulence, and there is the infinite impermanence.
Impermanence on the Turbulence. And I feel like Anthony invested quite a few cards out of his hand into all of this, so... But on the other hand, yeah, I think he's fine here. He should be fine. He could chain SP Little Knight here, couldn't he? But that probably was on the summon, right? I agree.
You're able to check any follow-up cards by Simple Splodes being able to send the SP here, which is completely fine. Because the SP doesn't do a lot in this matchup, and then being able to summon Recordetta, but he's choosing not to. I think he wants to do potential Assault Airline instead.
Into our deck, bringing out another Hydrant.
He'll summon another Hydrant, no Assault Airline.
Oh.
So he's just going for a TK, but he can't because he used SP effect.
Well, he's going to link off all of them for probably an Appaloosa Bar of the Goddess. Yes, and he's going to be able to special summon out the Turbulence again because of the effect of the
Preventer summoning back Turbulence.
More like an Abler, right?
Yep. And
why did we not?
The permanence on the summon of the Turbulence is not great anymore because Anthony can still activate the effect, and he's going to set 4 cards here from his deck. insanity. Anthony now resolving this so incredibly powerful effect, deciding to go with 2
Why
spell cards
did we
and 2 trap
imperm
cards.
on Summon of
That is just
Turbulence?
a huge advantageous position.
The emergency was
for the
already
duelist
used.
coming all the way
That's a
from
complete
Luxembourg
misplay.
here.
Oh, and yet another card is being
Okay,
set. We have the
deserved
Appaloosa,
loss, epic.
2,400 attack points, and there is Jerusalem in
Invades
the
Jerusalem,
end phase,
target
trying to
Nibiru, or the
activate.
Link Karibo,
Wants to be summoned, banishes
or the
Link
SP,
Karibo. I
either.
can imagine that Appaloosa tries to negate this.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to negate, because otherwise the Appaloosa can just be attacked over. On the other hand, you have other cards to take care of that. Oh yeah, it looked like Anthony was just giving the thumbs up there. And we are going to... Nope, negate it in the end. Okay, okay, we have settled on a
Appaloosa
negate.
against Jerusalem.
And
On
the
follow-up,
Jerusalem
Jerusalem will
is going to
force
stay in
another
hands of
Appaloosa
Victor.
activation.
Did he pick up a play? No, he picks up his deck instead. 1-0
But doesn't join
Anthony
to
Lopez
playable.
here in top 4 of YC's Bologna.
And that is
means
game.
Luxembourg leading over Bulgaria. 2 nations that are very, very small in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh! Representation, at least. So far with no real major success, but maybe it is starting this weekend.
Right now they are big in terms of representation. There's one
Indeed.
of them each in the top 4. Only 4 players left.
Indeed,
They make up 50% of the top 4 together, so I think that is rather huge.
Oh,
So
never mind. I'm being dumb
this
actually.
matchup, I have
If you
no idea
imperm
how
the
Branded
Turbulence
versus Rescue Age matchup plays
in response to its effect,
plays out,
SP can just chain to banish both.
Branded actually gets the
That's
play,
my bad.
because This was an abysmal hand.
Yeah.
by Victor.
So he was forced to
So we
imperm
saw,
on Summon of
for
Turbulence,
the cards
but that opened him
are
up to
regarding
obviously
non-engine that Anthony picked. He is only
summoning
Biru because he discarded that for the Diabellstar, which
the
is
Hydrant
kind of hit or miss versus
and then
Branded
being
deck.
able
It's not
to
incredibly powerful,
get
but
Preventer
sometimes
online,
can be pretty good.
which
So
made
it's,
Appaloosa
I think
viable.
kind of similar to other strategies where you are
Which
really
could
not sure
resummon
whether
the
to keep it
Turbulence
in or
because
not,
simple.
because it is on the edge whether you will be able to use it or not. But also on the other end, of course, he's running Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, which would be the perfect answer to every Branded Fusion ever. And then there are other cards like Effect Veil and the Permanence. And honestly, I like the approach of Anthony. He just plays all of those hand interactions, and so he's very well prepared for all kind of different matchups, and also, in my opinion, pretty well prepared for the Branded matchup.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'd love to see what's in the side deck for Victor.
Yeah, we can definitely have a look at that. And we see, for going first, he apparently feels comfortable enough with his own deck, because there's nothing you really want to side in going first there at all. Like, all of those cards are kind of going second. Excuse me. And nothing really for going first instead.
Yeah, perhaps just that Murd Dragon of the Swamp. Because we were talking about the super polymerization, but I don't think there was any use for it in the first game, because he only has that Garura as a target, so maybe the Mud Dragon being a bit more useful.
That's super interesting.
Kinda insane that you're playing the Mud Dragon of the Swamp in the side deck as a super polymerization target, which is fine if you have the super polymerization in the side deck as well. If you're playing it in the main deck, you might just miss
I mean,
out,
the
but
Rescuers play
you
was
guys
forced to
have
play
followed
around
this
it
event speed. There
regardless,
was a
so it
fist
doesn't
bump
really
lead,
matter
and
whether or
both
not you
players
side deck
are
it.
ready to go to game 2. Game 2 will be started by Victor as well. He is picking up the 5
At the
cards that
end of
he's
the day, you
allowed
can
to
still
play.
super poly for Garura with the Hydrant and the Turbulence anyway. So it's not...
Branded Fusion this time. But we start things off with Alu Burn, as that
Or
will
can
be
you?
the
Oh,
way
clever.
into the Branded Fusion, of course. And that is
Immediately
going to
alone.
resolve, yeah.
Anthony just says, okay, let's go. I'm not going to waste an Ash Blossom on
Victor
that.
taking a
Of course,
moment
he
to
is
gather his
waiting for the
thoughts.
Branded Fusion if he has this also powerful Ash Blossom, a card that can just
Go
absolutely
fetch Brandon
take
Red.
the entire strategy.
He
But
does
look at
not
that.
have a way
Victor
to
grabbing
beat
the Branded and Red, and
Ash Blossom, so
another
instead
card
he's going
brings
to
in
try
from
and play
side with
around.
Stolen Lockbird, and that is not too bad.
But no,
And
he does
look
have
at his
Branded Fusion, which is
face.
okay.
We searched for
Okay, so the Branded loss is not going
and we
to
also have the
accomplish
Branded
anything.
loss, so all the Branded cards basically in his hand, and now Branded Fusion, of course, going to resolve too. And to be fair, I'm not sure if a Stolen Lockbird is too insane here.
Oh, Anthony picks up his hand. He has not okayed the Branded Fusion yet. He is looking at this. He's trying to think. This is. I'm not sure if he's posing at this moment. He's
I
actually
do believe that
thinking
Victor
hard.
is thinking here, to be honest.
Oh, that was also.
Yeah, Victor is just considering
Victor
how to
taking
resolve
things,
that
selling
Branded Fusion,
Albas.
and that is what's happening here. We see, of course, the Fallen of Albas going into the graveyard.
If he's
but
playing
what is the
Lupillion, he
other
can send
material?
Lupillion
What
to
is he
place
using to
regain for
summon, and
follow-up.
then what is he going to go to summon out there?
The Draw Unlock, but is not a card that
Instead, he's just going to send Tragedy, because Tragedy can add a follow-up by resetting the Branded Fusion.
The Despian Tragedy, and that's interesting because that won't be able to search anything here.
You're just going to go Lebellion.
Lockbird that is around.
Yeah, and
It also puts a
lost as well.
also puts a Despia in graveyard for the Branded Red. Lebellion effect, discarding a card. Anthony cannot respond here. Just thinking on Victor's just thinking about the cost, discarding Branded opening, shuffling back Lebellion and Albaz, making him a Jade.
Branded Lost, Branded in Red, Branded Opening, Aluber, all of them.
And there we go, the boss monster of the Brand deck, the Mirror Jade.
Set to boss.
Oh, and another set too by Victor, this time a little better.
There is a lot of follow-up from the Branded player. The Mirror Jade will be able to banish, Branded Red will be able to make a Guardian Chimera and search an Aluba as follow-up, and the Branded Lost will be able to add Shrouded as well.
Has 5 cards to play through this field.
Or a Cartesia or a Quim.
A card like a Lightning Storm or Harpy's Feather Duster could be absolutely crucial.
I don't know how you get to a double Mirror Jade because we did decide to send the Despian Tragedy and not the Limitum, so we kind of don't have the double Mirror
So this is
Jade.
technically a lot of
Interesting enough,
interruptions.
because that would have been an option pretty certainly, but
Well,
now
enough
we go for the
interruption,
Despian
should
Tragedy. That
rephrase.
means
We don't know what the other unknown set is. It could be a Super Poly, it could be
If we now
an
make the Despian Tragedy and
Imperm, it
fuse
could be a
with it,
crosser, we
can
don't know.
plan trigger it to at least have follow-up for the upcoming turn. So Victor
I think
feels
Anthony
confident
really
here
needs to
in
just
having
consider,
another
okay,
turn
what
to
if
provide the
this is, in fact,
follow-up.
a Super Poly, because I can clear the Mirror Jade with this Imperm now, and now I just need to play with 4 cards in my hand around the Super Poly and the Guardian Chimera.
Yeah, it's one of the most beneficial costs of any card, really, isn't it? Just send a card from your extra deck to the graveyard to get a search in the end phase. I'll pay that cost.
Yeah.
The entire Dogmatica engine is just based around that effect, basically. And now we're normal summoning the Airlifter, best normal summon we have.
Airlifter is getting Impermed. Chain Emergency is real. Emergency does get chained. Emergency gets to summon Hydrant. Airlifter adds HQ.
One card or even special the Hydrant here, and we are sending the good old Airlifter, and that will
Instead of adding HQ, we're going to go ahead and add Alert.
anyways, and we are going to add the Alert to our hand.
Alert can add any Rescue S monster from our deck to our hand because we control the Hydrant, as well as the Hydrant being able to search us Preventer or Turbulence.
Going into that Turbulence right now, but then the Turbulence will also have to activate the effect and resolve to get this powerful set fall. We will have to see.
Looks like we added the Turbulence off of Hydrant, so the Alert will later on be able to find us our Preventer.
Plenty of things that Victor could still have.
It could also...
So let's not be too quick. Okay, there comes the Turbulence. Does Victor have a response right here, right now? He is just nodding. I think there's no response. We are resolving this and sending 4 cards to the Spell and Trap zone. This is looking
This
nice
is a mistake. Rescue can reborn the Tragedy from Victor's graveyard, which turns off the Branded in red. So there's no more Guardian Chimera. If you wanted a Guardian Chimera, then this was the only opportunity to do so. Set for Emergency, Extinguish, Contain, and Rescue.
He's like, I can wait with this. Oh, and we see 2 traps. Interestingly enough, he did not side out any of the traps here. He still has Extinguish, he still has Contain. Feels comfortable enough keeping those in going second.
Yeah, he just wants to play through the field. Branded is not the deck that puts up the biggest field ever. If you even draw it, you might not regret it, and you want to have this full value from Turbulence. Oh, and there comes
Next card being summoned as Typhon. Typhon clears the Mirror Jade because it doesn't trigger in the extra deck.
The Guardian Chimera as well, having that little bonus effect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Guardian Chimera couldn't even activate if it wanted. This is the first time I am seeing the Typhon this weekend absolutely being insane for one player.
Yeah. I do agree.
And Victor's just going to concede there. No known follow-up, the Mirror Jade doesn't get the trigger, it can't be set 4, and that is just game. Amazing performance from Victor, making it all the way to top 4, but our finals will most likely be Labyrinth versus Labyrinth or Runic Synchro, Runic Branded Synchro versus Rescue Ace. We just have to wait for the Ninkabui versus Joshua Schmidt match to conclude. I don't know if they're going to feature that right now. I hope they do, so that we do get to see the remainder of that game.
Imagine just resolving Branded Fusion and then
Exactly.
conceding within minutes afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. So Anthony Lopez really had everything going for him there because, as well, it were exactly 2 summons from the extra deck for Victor. So Typhon was just able to be summoned because you need at least 2 summons from the extra deck. That was really working out for him.
Anthony Lopez from Luxembourg did what so many other players this weekend couldn't, and that is defeating Viktor Ivanov and his branded strategy. We have seen him dominate players with the best meta decks in the field right now. But he says, no, Rescue Ace is such a fantastic deck, and I'm going to perfectly play it.
Yeah, so we said 4 different decks in top 4. Still, at the end of the day, the most represented deck out of top 64 might take it all.